Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our rescheduled webinar about how to get and prepare for your ECBA certification. Once again, we apologize for the situation last week. We'll work hard to make sure that this type of thing doesn't happen in the future. But for now, let's focus on helping you get ready uh, for your ECBA certification. Just a couple of rules for this webinar before I pass the microphone over to Vishal. So the first thing is that if you have any sort of questions or anything you'd like to ask with regard to what is in the presentation, or maybe something that's not in the presentation, we're going to have a Q&A session at the end. So write them down, and both I or Vishal will answer them when the webinar is over. Secondly, we will also be uploading this webinar registration online. And we will also send it to you via email, so you'll have access to it and to all the information presented here. And third of all, we want to make this webinar a bit more interactive. So we're going to be using a tool just to facilitate us asking some questions to you during it. So as a favor to me, and just to make things easier, so if you can please have your mobile phone close to you, because we will be using this in order to ask you some questions, for you to answer them. We're going to have a quiz at the end, so it's going to be a bit more interactive. Other than that, that's pretty much everything from my end. So Vishal, when you want to start the webinar, please.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Alex, for introduction. Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to congratulate you all that you have already taken your first step towards this certification. Like showing an interest is something that actually this is the first step for getting any certification. As Alex mentioned, we will ask some questions. Don't worry, we are not going to ask you any ECBA questions, but we will ask the questions related to ECBA just to ensure that what you're looking from this webinar and you're getting as it is. So let me share my another screen. Okay, so this is the first question for you guys. At the top, you can see there is one link. You can go to that link and input the code and just answer this simple question. Alex has put that link and the code for you in the chat box. We would really appreciate to know what's your expectation from this. We will just get in one word is also okay. If you have any difficulties in opening this link or answering this, do let us know in chat box. Okay, we got some response, one response, nice. Okay, okay. It's really wonderful to know your thoughts. Thanks for writing this. Tricks to pass the exam. I like this one. Okay, okay, nice, nice, nice. So let's get another question. Like, these your answers are very helpful for me to tailor my presentation based upon your requirement, because I really don't wanted to go through the slides and repeat all the information that is already there on internet. So I got an idea like what exactly you're looking into this. This is kind of will it be hard? No, not at all. A lot of materials to read. Okay. Professional growth, of course. Strategy, hard work, stress, focus. Will it be hard? Okay, okay, okay. These are like, thanks everyone for sharing your thoughts. This is really, really appreciating. Okay, just going back to presentation. I hope you guys can see this presentation. So as I already congratulated you guys, and uh, how to get this ECBA certification. First of all, like, is it difficult? No, not at all. So what is this ECBA actually? Okay, before this ECBA, we all know that this is something like entry level business analysis certification. But what is exactly the business analyst, or what they do? So many times when we ask any business analyst, what is your role, what is your day-to-day activities, it will vary depend upon the industry they work on. But one thing we have generalized and standardized one definition is, according to this business analysis body of knowledge, which is also known as Payback. Many of you may not have heard this word Payback, but we will talk about this as well. According to this, it says it is a practice of enabling change in an enterprise by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to stakeholder. Okay, this may sound very weird. Let me break it down just to understand you guys. What they mean over here is, as a business analyst, you are responsible to bring some change in an enterprise. They are not saying in an organization or an institute, because the term is business analyst. You cannot do the business within an institute, right? Within an organization, you need to have an enterprise. You need to go beyond an enterprise. So it says that you are the one who is going to enable this change. What type of change and how you are going to enable, based upon the needs. What is the need? So that you will define. Based on that, you will recommend a change, and that would be your solution. What type of solution you will provide as a business analyst that will deliver a value to stakeholder, right? If it's not going to deliver a value, then that is not a solution. So whatever activities you're going to perform, or like in any industry you are, you will, this definition will definitely going to apply to you. If you're not going to, it's not getting applied to you, then means you are not doing a business analysis work itself. So just to highlight like what enabling change in an enterprise means, it's like understanding your current situation, like what are the rationals why we need to change, that we need to understand. Define the target state, what would be our target state, and what are the steps that I need to follow to achieve my future state. Okay, design and describe the solution that can deliver a value, how it is going to deliver the value, right? Ensure important characteristics of solutions are requirements, right? And it is delivering the value, that is what something we have to ensure. Okay, as this is not an like a business analysis webinar, so but I just wanted to provide this definition. So let's move to our main topic on ECBA. Okay, who can be a business analyst? According to IIBA or BEBOC, it says anyone Okay, any person who performs business analysis task described in Payback. Again, Payback is business analysis body of knowledge. It's a guide. It's not a rule book. It's a book which tells you what is business analysis standard practices. Okay, and it doesn't matter that your job title should be like a business analyst to perform the business analysis roles. These are the some of the commonly used designations we have came across in industry all over the world, the people who are performing business analysis activities. Okay, so to have a certification, okay, to become a certified business analyst, and IIBA, International Institute of Business Analysis, they came up with the certification. I know, like I have stated 3 certification, and we are going to talk about the ECBA. But I wanted to understand you guys to what are the different type of certifications here, just to understand you were exactly fitting into ECBA, CCBA, or CBAP. So they came up with this certification. The first certification they launched was level 3 certification. It was CBAP. They introduced this into 2006. Okay, and there was some criteria, like you should have minimum 5 years of experience just to show that you are certified business analyst. Later they found that okay, business analysis activities are growing, and people, only the senior level people are able to showcase their skills by gaining this CBAP certifications. So later they came up with another certification, that was CCBA, certification of capability in business analysis. This was something like people who have mid-level of experience in CBAP, like business analysis, and like you just need to have 2 to 3 years of business analysis experience to appear for this examination. And slowly in last 5 years, especially in last 5 years, we have seen a huge amount of requirement and demand for this business analysis role. And according to the data projected by the IIBA, it will keep growing for at least for the next 2 decades. This role will never go, and that's the reason the industry start feeling the shortage of the people who are having a business analysis skills. And this certification arrived, which gave you a gateway or an entry point from where you can start your journey to become a business analyst. No matter you are a fresher, you have an experience, you are interested to move into a business analyst role, you don't have any experience, you can start. This is the starting point. So they introduced this into 2016. As you can see, there is no BA experience is required. And the certification, what this certification is, the way it is designed is to help you develop the business analysis skills. What are the general practices? What exactly business analysts do? What techniques or what knowledge I should have to start my first job as a business analyst. So this is something ECBA is like a dream come true for the people who wanted to get into this business analysis world. Okay, I hope this other 2 certifications, whenever you will Google something like certifications in business analyst, these 2 certifications will pop up, and it will not confuse you anymore. Okay, moving to next slide. This is Payback, which I was taking. I saw one comment over there, like what comes in your mind when you hear the word ECBA? A lot of study material? I would say no. Luckily, we have only one book to study, a Payback. It looks like this. You can download it from IIBA's website as well. Okay, once you become a member, you will get a member copy of this. So this book, what exactly it has is a general globally recognized standard of practice of business analysis. It like combines and summarizes the experience of business analysis across the world. The book is designed in such a way, it has gathered a lot of information from the different business analysts across the world, not to any specific region or country or continent as well. So what this certification is recognized all over the world and provides common set of commonly accepted practices, and defines the profession of business analysis. Okay, it has 500 pages, but you don't need to by heart this 500 pages. And the tricky thing is, for all three certifications, there is only one book. So now you will know, one question might have popped up in your mind. 3 certifications, 1 books, then I will read this book and I will directly go for preparing the higher certification. Why I need to go this for ECBA? Okay, here comes the trick. The way you want to understand this book based on, is totally different from the certification point of view. Okay, it has 6 knowledge area. Okay, this knowledge areas contains a task. Okay, business analysis task it will have, and there are 50 analysis techniques, and there are 29 underlying competencies, and there are the 5 perspectives. Here is again a trick. You will not get any questions on these perspectives, and I would suggest the exact starting point to read this Payback is reading through the first introductory part, then moving to the perspective, and then reading the remaining part of the book. Okay, so this was like a Payback. Okay, this is the only study material you need to refer. This is more than enough. I'm telling from my experience and from the other BA's experience that this book is more than enough for passing all these 3 certifications. Okay, so what is the eligibility criteria to appear for this examination? Okay, for ECBA, you don't need to have any business analysis experience. Okay, we got it. Just for your information perspective, I'm just going through this. For CCBA, you need to have like 3,750 hours in past 7 years. This much hours of business analysis experience you should have. And of course, for CBAP, you will require much higher. For Payback, okay, knowledge area expertise, as I mentioned in this, it has 6 knowledge areas. Okay, and from this 6 knowledge areas, you should not have any expertise. Like, it's not expected that you should have an expertise from this book, but for the CCBA and CBAP, it is expected that you have like expertise in these knowledge areas. Again, here comes a tricky part. You need to have a 21 hours professional development hour course, like PDUs. When you go to fill an application form on IIBA's website for ECBA examination, they will ask you for this. Have you earned this 21 hours of professional development course? And this is nothing but a business analysis course. Have you undergone or not? For this certification, you cannot go with the self-preparation. Of course, you need to do a self-preparation, but here they say something like you should undergo some training. Okay, we will talk about this later. And education, just a higher or school equivalent, and you don't need any references over here. No references is required for ECBA certification, but it's not the case for other 2 certifications. And whatever information you will provide, you just need to sign a code of conduct that what information you have provided in application form, it's true and correct. Okay, so exam information. Let's look at the exam information. So in exam focus, ECBA is something for the person or people who wanted to enter into business analysis world. For them, the questions would be in ECBA is knowledge based test. Okay, and in CCBA, it will be like scenario based test. And for the CBAP, you will get a case study, and based on that case study, you will have a questions. So no need to like worry about this too. ECBA, you will have a straightforward questions. You will have a multiple choice answers. One question will have a 4 answers, and there will be only one answer. There will be no question where you need to select a multiple answers for one question. So good thing, right? And another plus point over here is there is no negative marking here. So no need to worry about this, whether it will be wrong or right. Number of questions for ECBA, 50 questions. For CCBA, it's 130. And for CBAP, it's 120. Test duration is 1.5 hours. I would say this is more than enough for ECBA. So for the people who are going to prepare for ECBA, they don't need to worry about this time over here. You have enough time to answer all 50 questions. Testing agency is PCI. You can give this ECBA and all examinations from home itself. You don't need to go to testing center for this. And one tip over here is like, if you're giving an exam from home, keep a blank paper with you. You need to show this blank paper to your camera that it's blank, completely blank. And once you show it and your exam starts, write down the terms which you think will be difficult for you to remember during the exam, like some techniques or some knowledge areas. Write it down on your blank paper, which will help you to recall during answering these questions. Okay, and now let's make it more simpler. Let's try to understand this Payback. We mentioned that okay, we need to read the Payback. Okay, Payback have this introduction to business analysis and BA professions, also underlying competencies, key concepts and techniques. And this introductory part carry almost 30% of weightage. And this change happened from last month itself. From the 1st of March, the weightage to this technique, this area have been increased from 25% to 30% for the ECBA certification. Now you know, right, where to target, because now the second question many of you might have got is like, what is passing percentage? IIBA has not disclosed the passing percentage, but based upon the experience, the candidate who have given the exam, it's close to like between 67 to 70%. So consider for a higher range, consider that 70% is passing percentage over here. You need to score 70%. So you know right now where to concentrate. Correct? This introductory part carries almost 30% now. Okay. And for the other two examination, they are not going to ask any questions on this, because they know, they consider that you are already a business analyst and you know this. I don't need to test your knowledge on this one, because you already know this. So here comes a business analysis, planning and monitoring. It is one of the knowledge area. The people who don't know what is knowledge area or like completely new to Payback, for them, let me simplify it. Just a chapter. For you to understand, this is one of the chapter in this Payback book. Okay, there would be 5% questions on this. Another is illustration and collaboration. How you're going to illustrate the information, how you're going to collaborate with your stakeholders. There would be 20% questions on this, because at the junior level BA, you may get this, or entry level business analyst, you may have to work in this knowledge area. Requirement lifecycle management, again, it has a 20% weightage. And again, it comes like strategy analysis. Before it was like 5% questions on this, they made it 0. The reason why is in industry, it is found that all entry-level business analysts, they hardly get any task working on this part. So they completely removed it. They are not going to ask you any question on this. And if you observe this, again, it's like 12% questions for CCBA for mid-level. And for the senior level, it is like 15%. So you might have seen over here, as your seniority level in a business analysis role grows, you will be working on this more. Okay. Requirement analysis and design definition. Again, this is 25%. no matter which certification you're going to appear, but this is like very important knowledge area to understand. And the last knowledge area is solution evaluation. Before there was like 5% question on this. Again, they removed it. They said the entry level business analyst will not have any questions on this. Why to test their knowledge on this? So if you have observed here, for the medium level BAs, it's 6%, and for the experienced business analyst, it's 14%. So already your syllabus got the amount of study you have to do is got reduced. This and this gone. So Payback, the 500 pages Payback book is getting shorter and shorter. But it doesn't mean that you don't need to like know what is this knowledge area. You need to know this knowledge area, but not from the exam perspective, and just to understand how this BA use it. Okay. So again, just breaking down it. Now we have seen this 5, 20. We have seen this, okay, at the beginning, sorry. Okay. We have seen this carries a 30%. Let's break it down. Okay, the business analysis and BA profession, there would be one question on this. 1 or 0. Okay. And competencies, these are like what type of software skills you should have, what type of ethics you should have, all basic general knowledge questions, I would say, in competencies you will get. But there are 50 techniques, and the why they have increased the weightage for these techniques is because the people or the industry, when they are hiring any entry level business analyst, they wanted to know whether this candidate know how to use this business analysis techniques. Actually, they can get this expertise later, but they wanted to know, are they familiar with the techniques being used in business analysis? So they have increased the weightage to this. And believe me, this is like techniques is there are 50, not difficult to remember, and no need to by heart anything. And other these knowledge areas, these common terms are used in knowledge areas. So this is something important, even though it carries 30%, but it's, I would say, once you read this one, your almost 50% preparation is done for this certification. Okay. So let's see the time for our groundwork. First, if you are very new to business analysis, get familiar with this business analysis term, what it is, what type of examinations would be there. Okay, what are the concepts? Try to, if you are in IT field, go and just look at the simple job descriptions on LinkedIn or any job portal. What are they are asking for? What exactly business analysis? Get familiar yourself with this business analysis, because if you go to read directly this Payback on which the exam questions will be asked, this will go from your head. So just go and Google very simple definitions first, what they do, what it is. Okay, it's very simple. Once you get familiar to this, read and understand Payback. It doesn't mean that you have to buy heart. It doesn't mean that you are going to, if you are reading it for the first time, you're going to understand all. No, nobody understands at the first time. If you're going to understand it in the first reading itself, then you might be intelligent, you have a higher IQ, I would say. Okay. And the another step, this is very important, is join ECBA certification training. This training will not only help you to prepare for this examination, but there is also one more criteria for appearing for this exam, is earning this 21-hour professional development course. Okay, this is very important, and you can get this PD, like 21 hours PD, if you are going to take the training from the institute which is IIBA endorsed training center, not from any other institutes or any online courses. Just it should be an IIBA endorsed training center. Okay. And at the last, once you have gone through training and read through Payback, it's always better to check your knowledge and preparation level by appearing for some of the mock tests. There are plenty of exam simulators. There are plenty of exam simulators available in the market. Okay, they are quite good. Don't expect to get the dump. No simulator provides an exam dump over here. The questions will not be as it is, but those questions from the simulator will help you to understand what type of questions will appear in an exam. So that is really going to help you to prepare where you're lagging. Okay, examination fees. If you are an IIBA member, it's always better to get this IIBA membership. You will have an access to a lot of webinars, the Payback guide, member guide. You can download it. Okay, exam fees. You need to fill an application form first. All prices are in US dollars, so 60 USD. Examination fee is 110 USD for members. For non-members, you can see it is almost double, more than double, I would say. Retaking exam in case you're going to, if anybody is failing, no need to think about the retake. It's very simple. You can crack it if you follow the proper learning strategy. If you ask me a strategy, what are the tips and technique, there is what is strategy? There is no hard and fast rule or written strategy. You might have observed when you were in like university, many people have a different study techniques. Some people will write it down, some people will read it. So it's actually, we need to mold it based upon our technique which suits to you. Just think that it's another exam or another topic you're learning in university, and you are coming to this step, means you have plenty of experience of preparing for exams and learning new things. So there is nothing to scared and worry about. Okay. So about Luxoft Training, we are like IIBA endorsed a training center. In our training, ECBA training, we not only focus on the preparing on exam perspective, but our focus is also like you gain the required uh, actual knowledge of business analysis. It should not have that you are just earning this certification, but you don't have the skills. So it should be growing your skills, gaining those skills, and achieving this certification is really worth when they are together, right? So you can contact to our training department for like any certification, or reach out to Alex. We have the trainings in different languages, English, Polish, and many other languages. And all trainings are delivered online. And there are also multiple business analysis trainings we do provide, like introduction to business analysis. If you want to dive deeper into any particular business analysis knowledge area, then you can reach out to our training team. And let me hand it over to Alex if he want to add anything over here.
Uh, I think the best thing is maybe to test our participants' attention. So with the last three questions in the Menti, and then we can go on. So let's see
Okay.
everybody.
Okay. Okay. How many professional development hours do you need to have for ECBA certification? Let's see how many of you remember this. Wow, majority of you know it. Okay, this is actually the correct option. Okay, you can ignore this. Nice to see. Okay. Let's move to last question. On which section you will not have any question? Okay, it's none of this. Like, you will get the questions. There is one section, perspectives. On that you will not get. Okay, so let me hand it over to Alex for any question and answers.
Thank you, Vishal, and thank you everybody for also helping us to make this webinar a bit more interactive. So before we move to the Q&A section, I'll also like to ask everybody if you can please complete our feedback form about the webinar. It helps us improve future webinars, update the content, develop new webinars for subjects you might be interested in. So it will really help us a lot. And other than that, now I open the webinar to any sort of questions you might have. Please put them in the chat, and we'll try to answer them.
Any questions? Would be happy to answer. You can write it down in the chat.
Yeah, so if it's okay with you, Vishal, I'll answer the question from Mirko. So you can check out our schedule page on luxofttraining.com. I'll just give you the link now with regard to the schedule. But usually we have an ECBA training once every 2 months, once every 3 months at the maximum. It's quite a popular training. The courses are held online, so you don't need to. So you can, even if you're like from another country or anything like that, you can join the training. We usually do them via Zoom. We have breakout rooms. You have exercises. So it's quite interesting. I think Vishal can tell you a bit more about this because he's facilitated some of these trainings.
Yeah, you will get, and like we during this training we also walk you through some sample questions you may be asked during exam. So it's not only the training, we also provide you some sample questions to prepare for and test your knowledge. Okay, any other questions? Are there fixed dates for the exam? I didn't, whatever I got your question based on that, they don't have any like schedule, like, okay, it depends upon you. You just register an application, fill an application form, select the date, time, whichever is suitable for you, and just appear. You can select a midnight time also. They will not question it. So it's up to you when you want to set up the exam. I hope this answers the question.
Oh, so you mean like I think Delia refers to websites where you can get them all. If you don't have any links now, we can add these links to the follow-up email we give everybody, or you can share one now if you have it in the chat.
Okay, so are you also asking about the simulators, exam simulators?
Yeah, I think Delia is asking
Yeah.
about exactly
Okay.
exam simulation. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are actually a BA mentor and watermark. Those are quite popular, and more there are huge number of them. But during our training course, we always recommend people, like if they wanted to test it, they can go to watermark or BA mentor.
We'll add the links as well, just so everybody gets a chance to test them. So in the follow-up email we send to you guys with the webinar recording as well. No problem. Oh, and with regard to the exam, with the fact that it's online, so please bear in mind that you will also need to, and correct me if I'm wrong, Vishal, but you'll also need to keep your camera open because there's going to be a proctor. So somebody is going to be watching you, so to speak, during the exam to make sure you're not cheating.
Yeah. Even you cannot cover your mouth.
Yeah. So bear that in mind when you take the exam, to be you'll probably also need to like show your surroundings to make sure there's nobody else in the room who might give you the answer. So bear all this in mind when you're scheduling for the exam. Make sure maybe you're alone at home, or you're alone in a room.
Okay, to answer this, let's go to our schooling experience or college days. Our college lectures help us to better understand our books or subject, right? This course will definitely earn extra overhead, like I would not say like head start, a good head start for understanding Payback and preparing for the exam. I would say that reading Payback and not appearing for course, definitely it's not going to help. Or only going through course and not going through Payback, again it's not going to help. It should be together. So our trainings are like it's are for 6 days or 4 days, and we try to cover two knowledge areas on one day. So you will get in time to go and revise from Payback and come back on next day to ask some more questions about it. Okay, yeah. The another question for regarding this test batteries and simulator, this watermark and this BA mentor, the both are like when you log into their website, they ask you what type of exam you want to give. You wanted to test ECBA, CCBA, or CBAP. So yes, it's available for CBAP as well. But don't expect the questions to be as it is.
Are there any other questions? Okay, so it seems everything is clear. Oh, sorry. Assuming.
Okay, this certification, yes, definitely. Okay, first thing is it's already found that if you Google it also, you will get that the certified business analysts are paid higher, and yes, that is definitely going to help you to like grab more salary. And another thing is like what the certification will give you a confidence, like whatever you're doing is correct, and also you will get a lot of respect from your peers and managers. Okay, he or she is certified business and is definitely he's following up the proper standards and guidelines. So confidence is another thing apart from money you will gain from this, and recognition. Yeah.
And it also gives you a better foot in the door when it comes to recruitment processes. So if you have two business analysts with, let's say, the same amount of experience, the one that has a certification is more likely to be invited in the interview. Okay. Thank you, Radu, as well. So if there aren't any more questions, or if there's anything you might want to ask but forgot, you can write to us by email, and we'll try to answer it. Until then, just again, I'll ask you if you can please, before you leave the webinar, follow this link and complete the feedback form. It really helps us make better webinars in the future, and who knows, maybe the next subject for the webinar is going to be the one you wrote in the feedback form. Other than that, like I said at the beginning of the webinar, we will also be uploading this recording on our YouTube channel, and we'll send you a follow-up email with the link to this recording, as well as the link to the two websites that Vishal mentioned, where you can have the opportunity to do some practice questions for the ECBA exam. Other than that, thank you so much for joining our webinar. Thank you so much for the questions. Thank you so much for using our Menti tool and making this webinar interactive. And I wish you all a great day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.